जय हटकेश रिनल આપના
જય
આપણા
હટકેશ.
વિસનગરા નાગર મંડળ જે બે મુંબઈમાં છે, we are running a program for young achievers. You are one of the young achievers whom we have reached out, and because you are a young achiever, we are taking this interview. So welcome, Dr. Rinal Pandit.
Hello, sir. Very good morning to you. And first of all, I would like to congratulate you and your entire team for such a wonderful initiative. I'm really glad to be a part of it.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Yeah, the whole purpose, since you raised this, the whole purpose of this Mohim, as we would say in Gujarati, is that we want to reach out to young achievers like you in our community who have done something for themselves based on their effort, based on their qualification, and based on their own effort. That process would have been a process of pain and pleasure. So here we are trying to reach out and understand the pain and pleasure that you would have gone through, so that once we speak about that, once we talk about that, the generation next, if not generation next, at least 5-10 years younger to you, students of our community and otherwise, would be able to learn a thing or two from this dialogue. We have already done quite a few interviews, and we are in the, in fact, we are in the second series of doing these interviews. So just to give a quick background of Dr. Rinal. Rinal she's done her MBBS in 2008, then she's done and joined in 2008. She's passed in 14, then she's done her optho in 2017, then she's specialized in glaucoma, and she's stationed in Ahmedabad, and her parentage goes back to doctors in the family, and she's recently married in these times. So she's married to Dr. Shah, who's also an ophthalmologist operating out of Indore. So to quickly let us know, why did you choose medicine and then why opto?
So basically, I was raised in a family, as you've already described, a family of doctors. And over all these years, I've seen them working so hard, and I've seen that speck of content on their face which they get by treating their patients. And when they get a call from their patient that, oh, boh saru chamne, thank you so much. And I think all of these years, all these things have just added up in my mind and served as a motivation, to pursue medicine. And then after pursuing medicine, ophthalmology was like, I preferably wanted to become a gynecologist. Basically, I wanted to become a surgeon, and my first preference was gynecology. But then somehow the focus shifted from gynecology to the choice shifted from that to ophthalmology, and I'm happy being an ophthalmologist now.
And you did a good job, because you got an award and you received it through the current president of the country, isn't it?
Yes. I was conferred the gold medal for ophthalmology by the Honorable President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind.
Oh, excellent. Congratulations. Not many people in our community and otherwise would have received this gold medal, isn't it? So tell me about this experience. And it must have been recent, isn't it, in the last 1 or 2 years?
Yes, it was in 2018.
Okay. So tell me about your emotional experience of going to the Raj Bhavan and receiving the award.
Yes. So basically, the convocation ceremony was held at the Gujarat University here in Ahmedabad. And the president flew down from Delhi to here, and it was really fascinating to be a part of that entire ceremony, right from the mock drill of, there was a special entire mock drill conducted before we could actually receive the award from the president, and his arrival. And then, all of us were instructed that we were given positions, that this is your position, you'll be sitting like this, you'll be receiving the award like this and all. And so it was quite an amazing experience, and I was glad that both my parents were present at that time when I received the award, and it felt really great.
It must have been a very proud moment for your parents and for you.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, since you're mentioning this, there are protocol officers who also would tell you how many feet you have to be away from the guest and how you have to walk and how you have to bend.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure they do a lot of drill. So it must have been a terrific learning of protocol.
Yes.
So, does protocol play an important part in life?
Protocols do play a very important role, I feel. And if you don't go by the protocol, you are definitely going to land up into some kind of trouble.
Yeah.
You can't miss steps. You have to follow the protocol. That's what I feel. That's what I've
And
learned
something
over the years.
and something which we inherited in a great extent from the Brits. Though there are so many things that the Brits have left
Yes,
behind,
yes,
protocol is one which I think we are following to the T, if you like, isn't it?
yes. I feel wherever there are protocols to be followed, don't go for shortcuts.
Yeah, very true, very true. Interesting. Your CV tells me that you are interested in cooking. You're interested in
Yes,
on taking pictures of your of food. You love
yes,
traveling. It rejuvenates you. You like the local
yes,
cuisine. You want to start a cafe. If you had not done
yes,
your medicine, you would have been a chef, and that you also
yes,
do painting. Quite a few things, lot of things
yes.
on your shoulders. So, so are you pursuing any of these, or your profession is taking all of your time?
No, ophthalmology is quite a relaxing branch, I feel. And definitely, while I was preparing for, I was getting trained for my MBBS and then the post graduation, I was engrossed a lot in studies and all those entrance tests and all. And all those years, I felt that I have missed upon a lot many things, a lot many important things, lot many passions, which I just left behind. And once I started practicing as a surgeon now, I am lucky to get a lot of spare time, and then I've made sure that there are other things as well you need to pursue. And I also believe in work life balance. I feel that you can't just work all the time, or you cannot just uh, keep on enjoying all the time. So I think or we all of us need to maintain a good work life balance. And then if you're not working, you must have few hobbies, or whatever it may be in any form.
So these
You
you
must pursue it.
so these hobbies you developed post your graduation and your masters, or it was along with you in the school?
Well, I've I used to pursue all these things as a child back then in school, but then over the years, getting engrossed in studies and all, it just all got dissolved. But then I just rediscovered all those interests, and then started working towards it slowly. Like whenever I do get time, I make sure that I do something interesting and keep myself charged up.
So tell me, you said about work-life balance. So actually this
Yes,
goes beyond work-life balance, as in you are trying to pursue a hobby, which obviously gets you a lot of satisfaction, and you have some hobbies which consume a lot of time, like traveling or cooking or photography or even painting. These are
yes.
hobbies if you pursue, which I'm sure you are doing. It takes a lot of time. So what is it that you get at the end of the day? Along you come home tired after your surgeries or or consulting or whatever, and then you have
Yes.
time to get into painting or to take pictures of the food or whatever. How what is that feeling? What is that wow moment that happens?
I think I get a lot of peace doing that. So whenever I did not have a good day at work, and I come back home and I'm all frustrated and irritated, maybe I'll cook something nice for myself, take a photograph, post it on Instagram, and get happy.
Ah, okay. And call
So cooking,
and maybe call your friend or somebody to have share the meal with you, right?
yes, definitely. I
Yes.
would love to, invite people to
So
join me
next
for
time I'm in
dinner.
Ahmedabad, I'll make it a point to drop in
Please do
and
come, sure.
yeah, it would be an absolute
It
pleasure.
will be my pleasure. My
Thank
pleasure,
thank you
absolutely.
so much. You said that you inherited this looking at your parents. I also saw in your CV that this is something because you are specialized in glaucoma. You want to do something about
Yes,
the awareness because it is an irreversible damage that happens to a patient. So where does the
yes.
spirit of giving back come in? Because at a young age, you're talking of giving back, and you want to give it through your profession. So can you talk something about the giving back part as a professional?
Yes. So I believe that whatever we have learned in be it any field, unless and until you're not able to help the community with that, you don't get that sense of satisfaction. So personally, I feel that it's a very important part of your profession to be helpful to the community in any way, not just being a doctor, but say you are a whatever, you are an engineer, you can also design an app. I am not you can design an app and serve the community, or in whichever way. Being a doctor, I can give it back to the community by treating the patients and, you know, making their lives better. So it's all about making other people's life better.
True. Very true. You also want to start a cafe. Why a cafe?
Uh, that's always been a dream. So I'm a coffee lover, and I like visiting different cafes and, you know, trying new coffees. And whenever I visit them, I always have this feeling in my mind that, you know, even I want to have a cafe of my own, and, you know, design everything, design the interiors, and have a nice menu for that, and, you know,
Reminds me of the
just
tagline of
it should be a cozy place where
yeah. Reminds me of a tagline of CCD. A lot can happen over coffee.
yes, a lot can actually happen over coffee.
Absolutely, absolutely. And is India a coffee drinker or is it a tea drinker? Or the next your generation is becoming a coffee drinker?
Coffee, yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
I think
And
both. I love tea as much as I love coffee.
no, but our
Both
Gujarati
are
tea
great, I
is not tea actually. It is something far away from tea. The hard boiled
think.
with a lot of masala in that, a lot of milk
It,
in
I
that.
think it's a chashani. It's a chashani.
होट चिपकी जाएगी जाती है. Coming back to your
Yes.
profession, uh, while doing your medicine, you must have gone through experiences. You were
Yes.
stationed in Ahmedabad, and lucky that you both your graduation and your post you could do in Ahmedabad. So, what are the experiences that a young doctor goes through, especially if you were to give a suggestion to the youngsters 5-10 years younger to you who want to pursue medicine in terms of aspirations or whatever they should have, should they decide to take up medicine?
Yes. So, well, I feel I have a lot of queries from a lot of my relatives and, you know, friends and this and that, that should we actually take up medicine? I feel that in these days, the medical profession has been portrayed in such a way that people are really not very interested taking up the profession, you know, investing 10 years, and then also the monetary returns are not that great. But also currently, as we all know, we are witnessing the worst pandemic, and it just brings out how important it is to have good numbers and good quality of healthcare workers, you know, to be able to handle such
Yeah,
pandemics and other healthcare
I was
issues.
hearing somewhere
And
that as a country we have only 40-50,000 anesthetists. Is that true? Is that would be a true number?
yes, yes, that is true, that is true.
Ah. Oh, so
So
actually,
it is in such tough times that we realize that you know, the importance of healthcare worker, and if you're interested to become one, I think it's a great thing, it's a great profession,
do you think the whole
but
process
you
of
need to be patient.
yeah, yeah. First, a doctor has to be patient, and then he can treat the patient. So that's
Yes.
yeah. In fact, are you seeing a lot of change that is going to happen in the medical field in terms of the because our number of doctors to patients the ratio is very low. So because with this pandemic and all things happening, do you think a lot of change is going to happen in the way medicine or the doctory, if you can say, is going to be delivered,
Yes.
telemedicines and things like that? Are you seeing something?
Yes. I think the government has now realized how important it is for them to invest in the healthcare sector. And apart from, you know, having good number of doctors, it's also very important to train all of them well. And that is something, the training part, it's not being conducted the way it should be in our country at a lot of places. And so the government, you know, should invest a lot and should take care that, you know, the quality of doctors also improve over a period of time. And at the same time, a lot of new things are coming up, such as telemedicine and all those things. But yes, I think all these things, you know, are going to make a difference. And uh,
But
yeah, but
I was hearing that there is a major issue. Government is trying to push freshers into villages because our infrastructure of medicine at villages or at district levels is rather poor. You see,
Yes.
But the fresh graduates are not willing, even there is a bond or something like that.
Yes.
Would you have a suggestion or an advice, or if you can use the word advice for those young graduates who are coming out, that there is so much of what is it if you have to go to a small village or a district and equip yourself better?
I think I have not been, into that kind of, rural practice. So I would not be the right person really to, give advice how really it is, what's the working scenario there. But I feel that, to become a good doctor, you need to have good amount of experience, and going to a village and treating all those patients would be really fascinating. But at the same time, yes, if you have always lived in a city, and that thought of going to a village and staying there for a long time, it's all depressing, and it's all scary.
The
But
environment is not
then
very conducive.
the environment, it's not going to be really very conducive. But at the same time, I think even in the cities and all the medical colleges at which we have studied, if we have to stay there, say a person has come from another city and has to stay in Ahmedabad, the working environment as well as the living environment they provide is very poor.
Pathetic. I
So
would say pathetic.
it's yes, it is very very,
Yeah,
one cannot
terrible.
manage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really terrible. And all these are the places where a lot of improvement is required, I mean.
Yeah, sure, sure. Absolutely. I mean, in fact, in so
Yes.
many other faculties also, in so many other spheres also. Why only? Even for example, though the new education policy has come in, now the story is that we are producing graduates, but we cannot give them employment. They are not employable. You see, that's the
Yes.
problem with engineers. That's the problem with so many other faculties, so many other spheres. You also did a stint at Shankar Nethralaya in Chennai. You you
Yes.
you were born and brought up in Ahmedabad, as far as I know. And did your
Yes.
schooling, your graduation, your post in Ahmedabad, and you went for almost 1.5 years, 18 months into
Yes.
Chennai. Tell us about your
Yes.
experience of going to away from family first and staying in a place where they don't like Hindi or they treat you as a northerner because
Yes.
of your fair skin.
Uh,
Yeah.
yes. To be really very frank, I was not at all willing, to go to Chennai for such a long time. And had it not been my parents after me that no, you have beat anything, you have to go there and you have to study and fulfill your dream. I would really would. I was there was a thought block in my mind. I was really not ready to go there and stay for such a long time, because when you've always stayed, in that comfort zone, it gets really difficult to get out of that comfort zone and be in a completely unknown place. But once I went there, and a few months of my stay, I started enjoying so much. And in fact, at the end of 18 months, I was really not willing to get back to home. I was thinking that, oh, I would be really able to adjust again to that place. So that was a major point in my life when I came out of my comfort zone, and it really benefited me a lot. So you
Shankar
must come out of
Nethralaya.
your comfort zone.
Yeah, in fact, exactly. In fact, Shankar Nethralaya
Yes.
is a reputed, world recognized, reputed
Yes.
place. And the service levels, patient doctor relationship in places like Shankar Nethralaya are far better, if I can use the word better, as compared to other places.
Yes, I feel overall South Indians are way more dedicated towards their work than the North Indians. That's what I have felt.
Chalse is a
That's
problem
what
that
my
we
experience is.
Gujaratis have to a great extent. Ato Chalse.
Yes, I feel we are a bit laid back compared to the South Indians.
આમાં મને શું ફાયદો થાય છે? Yeah, so you were saying that you have to come out of your comfort zone. So would you advise, again coming back to suggestion or advice, whichever word you choose, to 5-10 years younger to you, that as they pursue their career and as they reach their goal, they should quickly come out of the comfort zone that everybody has, staying with the family, pampered if you like, or whatever
Yes.
happens in any family. And every parent would want to pamper his child, isn't it? So uh, what have you learned coming out of your comfort zone?
Coming out of my comfort zone, I have learned how to become, self dependent, or you say independent. Staying with my family, I was dependent on my father for so many things, so many small things. And then once I moved to Chennai and I was out of my comfort zone, slowly I started realizing how dependent my life was on other people. And that's a very wrong thing, especially in, Gujarati families. All of us, all as children, are pampered a lot for small things. "Tane આ જોઈએ છે, આ કરી આપું, પેલું કરી આપું." So all that is just like, it's just there in the family, and you really need to come out of that comfort zone and see the real world, face the real world, and uh, uh, try and survive amidst all the difficulties.
So you're saying
So it's really very important.
you realize that you are so much dependent on others, but because of coming out
Yes,
of your comfort zone, you became
yes,
more independent. Is that
definitely.
to be able to lead your life the way, to live your life with passion, if you can say that, whatever
Yes,
passion you have?
yes.
Yeah.
And I think you tend to become more confident about so many things.
At a young age,
Yes, yes.
and you face the
That
world
gives that
better.
confidence.
And you
Yes,
face the
yes,
world better. And after all, see, a patient is allowing you to, in a way, pierce his eyes, if I can use that word as a layman.
yes,
So the more confident you are about yourself, the more the
yes.
patient will have confidence in you.
Certainly.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Any message you would, as we come to the end of our chat today, which has been absolute pleasure, any message or anything that you want to share, you would like to share with somebody? As you know, our target audience will be our community and across wherever. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Any message that you would
Uh,
want to?
so I think uh, pursue, my message would be that pursue your passion, be it anything. It's always not necessary to become a doctor or an engineer. There are so many professions and
Or a
so many
chartered accountant.
professions, or a chartered accountant. It's not that all these so-called big jobs are only good.
Yeah.
Whatever is, I feel all of us have been gifted with a unique attribute. So it's just a matter of discovery. It can be anything. You need to discover that, you need to work hard, you need to develop it, and then you will be successful, definitely successful in all the ways
And you will be
you
happy with
can
what you're
possibly.
doing. Success
Yes,
is
I
a
feel,
relative
yes,
term, but happiness is what
yes.
you have. Yeah.
At the end of the day, you must be happy with whatever you are doing.
True.
It should give you happiness, and you should be peaceful.
True. Peaceful. Yeah. Body and mind
Peace is
together.
very important.
Yeah. Body and
Yes,
mind
peace
goes
is
together.
really very important. Peace and happiness. So you can't do something, which you don't find happiness in, or you're not finding it, it just disrupts your peace.
And now with 70 years of independence, I think youngsters like you have a lot of opportunities. You don't have to follow the rut. You don't have to travel the way, the path that your parents have traveled. You can choose your own path, and so many multiple activities that you can do for yourself. There's a huge
There are
opportunity waiting out there.
lot many things to do, and I think there are so many, new professions coming up, unconventional things, and
Unconventional.
we must not restrict ourselves to be following that just because others have not done that, or
True.
someone from your family has never tried that. Try whatever you can in whichever way you can, and just
Get
be
your
happy.
happiness and get your happiness.
Yes,
So
yes.
thank you, Rinal. Thank you, Dr. Rinal Pandit. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you. If I were to
Thank you so much.
follow your passion, be happy, pursue your dreams, come out of your comfort zone, have more than
Yes,
one to have activities to yourself, to have a work balance life, and enjoy what you're doing. Make your parents proud by doing what you think is best for you. There are many opportunities available. Don't follow the beaten path. Since post-independence, there are a lot of new professions coming up which you can pursue.
yes.
And at the end of it, it's about chasing your dreams. So if I were to ask you a last question, did I sum up everything that we sort of spoke, or have I missed out
Perfectly,
anything?
perfectly
Okay.
well, perfectly well.
If I were to conduct this 5 years hence, what would you want to be 5 years hence?
5 years down the line, I see myself becoming a better surgeon. I want to go overseas and learn a lot of new techniques which have been introduced in the Western world but are yet to be introduced in our country. Learn those things from there. bring those things to our country, treat the patients better. And yes, 5 years down the line, I also can see myself running a cafe and inviting
Oh,
all of you there. And maybe the
excellent.
next chat we can have there in my
At the
cafe.
counter. Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely, absolutely. And actually, it really fits into the requirement today about reskilling. So here you're talking of reskilling yourself and giving
yes.
back to the society which you want to do now. So I wish you all the luck in doing that, and I look forward to
Thank you
attending
so much.
and coming to your coffee and having a coffee there. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Sure.